Hey, how's it going? It's Ollie here. So welcome to today's episode of Niche Spotlight. Today we're going to be analysing the embroidery hoop niche on Amazon. So should you sell it? So what is this, first of all? Well, some kind of tool people use for embroidery. So I think you wrap the wool over this hoop and then make different patterns. I don't know anything about embroidery, but I think that's basically how it works. Yeah, to make something like this. So, again, kind of random, but there is a demand for it. So let's go through using the cheat sheet and figure out if we should sell it or not. Now, so we're going to look at high demand first, and we're going to be seeing if there's 3K sellers for this product, because ultimately we want to make sure there's enough volume going through this niche before we decide to commit to it. We want to know our product will sell. 3 sellers doing well means, yeah, different designs will perform. It means when you offer your design to the marketplace, it's likely yours will perform too, as long as it's valuable to the customers. So how many do we have? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sellers making 3K per month or more. So yes, has high demand. Fantastic. Now, let's look at competition. So we want high demand, low competition. The way we figure this out is looking at the reviews. If there's 500 reviews or more on a seller, they're established. Customers are likely to pick their product because they trust that the product's good, because there's lots of social proof, lots of reviews. So how many established sellers are there? This is one. I think this is an ad and this is the original listing. So I think they're the same thing. So that's 1. 2. Again, I think it's basically the same thing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So no, there's not 5 or less. There's 8, which is a little bit over. It's probably like still kind of low to medium competition. Not too crazy, but yeah, it's not super low. Are there any brands? So at a glance, I can't see any brands I recognize that I would go, yeah, I'm going to pick that one because I trust that brand. Right? The power of having a famous brand is that customers just like you. You can mess up more, right? The product that you release can be bad. Customers will forgive you because your brand is famous, right? It's kind of like the difference between, I don't know, one of your friends making a mistake versus someone you don't know making a mistake. You're more likely to forgive your friend, right? Because they're close to you and you love them anyway. Same thing with a brand, right? So I can't see any recognizable brands here, so it's not going to be much of an issue. So the competition looks, reasonable. It's not too high. On to hassle. So obviously we want it to be easy for this to import, easy to sell it. All right, so we're going to look at 4 different factors. Could you make it yourself? Well, look, it's a bit of wood with a bit of metal on it. It's not that complicated structurally. So in theory, if you really wanted to, and you had the tools and the parts and everything, yes, I think I could definitely make this myself. I'm not going to, right? I'm going to get a manufacturer to do it. But if you know how something is constructed, then it's just a sign it's easy to manufacture, less complicated, and less friction getting it built. Is it a low hassle category? Well, what category is this in? Home and kitchen, I've sorted by. Let me just double check that. So we're going to click on one of the listings, scroll down to the category, and yes, it's in home and kitchen. If you ever want to check, just look at one of the listings, go to product details, which is like just above the reviews usually and above the A+ content. I swear sometimes it moves, sometimes it's below the A+ content. But anyway, look for bestsellers rank and then you'll see the category there as well. Alrighty, so yes, that is a low hassle category because it's in our list. And again, if you want to get this list of low hassle categories, grab the cheat sheet, link in description. This isn't an exhaustive list actually, there's other categories that are low hassle, but these are the main ones. Is it seasonal? I don't think it's seasonal, right? I don't think people do embroidery at any particular time of the year. We can use AMZScout to actually check, the 12-month or maybe even 2-3 year sales volume and see if there's any spikes at a particular time of year. And it looks like this one's just on a upward trajectory in general over the past 2 years. Probably more to do with the product and listing itself rather than embroidery itself becoming more and more popular, which I don't know Could be the case, but it seems unlikely. They've been selling since March 2024. Good to know that a new seller's come in and is getting good results. I've actually just noticed that this product is a garlic press, so we should probably omit that from our results. But anyway, it doesn't matter a whole lot. What about this one? Okay, so there seems to be a peak here between January, perhaps, and April, and then a bit of a trough here in May and June. Well, that's this year. What about last year? Okay, a little bit of a peak here in September, October, and then it's lower here in the summer months, a little bit higher in January, a little bit higher in March. Seems that in the springtime this particular product gets better sales, but doesn't necessarily indicate seasonality. And this one seems to be quite steady over 2 years. I'm not seeing any real obvious pattern. That's what we're looking for. This one's quite steady. If you go back a couple videos and watch the barbecue Toolset video, you can really see a strong correlation with that product selling in the summer. And we don't have that here. So again, I'm assuming this is not a seasonal product, which is good. What about dimensions? Is it small and light, easy enough to import? Not going to cause us too many issues. Let's have a look. So again, we want product details, which should be just below the reviews. Here we are. Just this time it's below the A+ content. 34 by 28 by 3.4. Okay, that's pretty small. It's not necessarily oversized. 480 grams. Pretty light. So it's pretty small and light. Cool. Alrighty. So in terms of low hassle, it checks all the boxes. Looks pretty solid. What about gap in the marketplace? So if you want a chance of your product selling well, you're making profit, we really want to be solving a problem in the marketplace that's there with the current products, that customers think, oh, I wish this product did this. I hate this about this product. I really want the product to solve this problem. If your product can come in and fill that gap, you'll get the sales. So I'm going to have a look at some of the negative reviews. See if we can just find any signs that there's gaps. Very disappointed with this part, missing the pins, and a tape, would not recommend. Okay, that's more of a QA issue, quality assurance, checking the packages, making sure all the parts are in. Not really necessarily something fundamentally wrong with the product, right? The product, they didn't really mention it. They just said, well, I didn't get all the things I ordered. Bits missing, incomplete, missing items. So a lot of these customers are complaining that they didn't get all the things. To be honest, it's not necessarily something you want to say in your listing is like, oh, you'll definitely get all the stuff, in the pack, because it just doesn't sound great. I mean, that's a basic thing, right? So we want to find, a problem to solve that's more to do with the fundamental product design and how it solves the problem. Right, those customers didn't even get the bare minimum, which is setting the bar a little bit low. So let's look at critical reviews. Maybe just start with some 1-star. Not sturdy. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Large hoop snapped in too, went in the bin. Interesting. Colors didn't match the pattern, not enough threads. Okay. And these are all in, I'm assuming this is maybe Italian? Oh, French. Okay, fair enough. I received my order as usual without difficulty. Not sturdy enough. Okay, so now we're starting to see a bit of a pattern. Not sturdy enough. All right, so we could potentially offer, an extra sturdy embroidery hoop. Now, you need to do a bit more research. You need to look at a few more listings to make sure this is a problem and that customers really do care about it. And if you can find that, evidence for that, yeah, making an extra sturdy embroidery hoop could be a great idea. So there are issues. Are there bundles? Well, we know there are bundles. So there's not no bundles because we just looked at a product that didn't come with all the parts. And it was a bundle. It came with the embroidery hoops and it also came with a load of thread, needles, all kinds of things for embroidery. So there are bundles. There's 1, 2, 3. So there's quite a lot of bundles on this page. So yeah, not the biggest gap then in the world necessarily with this product. Cool. All right. So let's score each of these sections, shall we? So let's look at that high demand. What's the demand level looking like for this product? Well, it's not that high. I mean, there's one, ignoring the garlic press this time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sellers making 3K or more. So it's all right. It's good demand levels, but it's not like super high, astronomically high. It's just good, I would say. So really, I can't give it much more than a 10. I'd give it maybe a 12 for high demand, because yeah, it's good, but it's not, you know, someone making 100 grand a month or something like that. What about competition levels? Well, I mean, it's not low competition. Again, this time, ignoring the garlic press, if it is an established seller, no, I don't think it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, bit of competition there. Quite a few established sellers. So maybe I'm going to give it an 8 out of 20. Because, you know, you can compete, but it's not an ideal situation. Especially because the revenue is not too high. If the revenue was higher, then I would allow for more competition, because that means that the pie is bigger. You know, there's more room to compete. It's not the case though. The revenue's not that high. What about hassle? Well, it's small and light. I don't see any problems with it. The problems might occur when you start to do something like this, because we've already seen some customers didn't get all the pieces, right? And that is hassle, right? If you're getting customers messaging you saying, look, I didn't receive all the bits, you've got to ship them another set and double check and make sure all the parts are in there. That is hassle, right? So as long as you don't do a bundle like this, you might be okay. Checks all the boxes, decent dimensions, definitely low hassle category, definitely could construct it yourself. So I'm going to give it perhaps a 15 out of 20 for low hassle. What about gap in the marketplace? Well, there are issues, but there are also bundles. So maybe I'm going to give it a 12 out of 10 for gap in the market. There is one, but it's not a massive gaping hole in the market. Finally, what about hunch? How do I feel about hunch? How do I feel about the product? Well, this is usually where I start to consider things like price point, how much it's going to be worth, the hassle of selling the product. And if we look at the best-selling products, yeah, there's some okay price points, $15.99, $12.99. A lot of them are on the slight cheap side. We'd want to come in at, you know, £16 or more, ideally. And yeah, it's not going to be a ton of profit there. In terms of the hassle, I think it's okay as long as the bundle doesn't get too complicated. Competition could be a bit of an issue. Hunch, I think I'm going to give it straight down the middle, a 10. It's an all right product. You know, it's not amazing, it's not sensational, but there is a bit of opportunity there if you're aware of the pitfalls of this niche. Could certainly make a few £100, maybe a couple grand profit per month with a product in this niche. So let's look at the overall score then. So we've got 12 plus 8 plus 15 plus 12 plus 10, 57 out of 100. Again, not the best product in the universe, but could certainly give it a go. Hope this was valuable. Please use this system to go out there and analyze products you want to sell. And yeah, hit subscribe if you want to see more videos about selling on Amazon. Thanks so much for watching.